Welcome to the world of magic and mysteries. Are you ready to dive into an exciting story and uncover the secrets of the abandoned shelter's walls? Let's get started. Shadows can tell a story of horror and fear that lurks within the wall of an abandoned asylum. Echoes of screams are still heard here, and the ghosts of the past live. Unsolved mysteries and terrible incidents make the bravest souls tremble with fear. Join us on a journey through the unknown as we uncover the haunting truth behind the legends and unravel the twists and turns of this gripping and disturbing tale. The Haunted Cabin, the tragic tale of Jack and the ghost that still haunts the woods. In a small village, there lived a young man named Jack. He lived alone in a rundown cabin on the outskirts of town. One night, as he was getting ready for bed, he heard a knocking at his door. When he opened it, no one was there. This happened for several nights in a row. Jack grew increasingly scared and decided to set up a trap to catch whoever was responsible. He left his front door open and waited with a shotgun. When the knocking started, he aimed and fired, but there was still no one there. The next morning, he went to the village to ask for help. The villagers told him about a ghost that haunted the woods, and they warned him to leave before it was too late. But Jack refused to abandon his home. That night, the ghost returned with a vengeance. It entered Jack's cabin and attacked him. He managed to escape and ran to the village, but he was never the same again. The villagers said that he was haunted by the ghost for the rest of his life, and that he could never escape its grasp. To this day, the ghost is said to still roam the woods, waiting for its next victim. From that night on, Jack was a changed man. He was constantly paranoid, always looking over his shoulder. His once kind and friendly demeanor was replaced by fear and anger. People in the village started to avoid him as he would rant about the ghost that was following him. Years went by, and Jack became more and more isolated. He was convinced that the ghost was getting closer and closer every day. He stopped leaving his cabin and instead spent all of his time fortifying it. He put up barricades and bars on all of the windows and doors and never slept a full night again. One fateful evening, there was a loud crash in the middle of the night. The villagers rushed to Jack's cabin to see what had happened. When they got there, they found that Jack had finally succumbed to the ghost. It was said that his eyes were still open, and that a look of pure terror was frozen on his face. The villagers quickly left the cabin and never went back. It was said that the ghost of the young man still haunts the woods to this day, waiting for its next victim. To this day, travelers who venture too close to the cabin can still hear the sound of knocking at the door and the anguished cries of Jack's ghost. Many years after Jack's death, a group of teenagers decided to explore the abandoned cabin and see if the rumors about the ghost were true. They entered the cabin cautiously, armed with flashlights and cameras. As they explored the inside of the cabin, they found strange symbols and markings on the walls, as if someone had been trying to ward off the ghost. Suddenly, they heard a loud knocking coming from upstairs. They cautiously climbed the stairs and found themselves face to face with Jack's ghost. The ghost was more real and terrifying than they could have ever imagined, and they ran back outside as fast as they could. The teenagers never spoke of their encounter again, but they would never forget the feeling of the ghost's presence and the sound of its haunting knock. To this day, the abandoned cabin in the woods remains a chilling reminder of the young man who was taken by the ghost, and the legend of Jack and his haunted cabin continues to live on. As the years passed, many more people came to the cabin in search of adventure and to see if the rumors about Jack's ghost were true. Some came back with stories of strange noises and unexplained events, while others came back with nothing to report at all. But for those who did experience something unusual, the memory of the ghostly encounter would stay with them forever. Despite the rumors and legends surrounding the cabin, some people still refused to believe that it was haunted. They claimed that the ghost was nothing more than a figment of people's imagination, a product of fear and superstition. But the stories continued to circulate, and the legend of Jack's ghost only grew stronger. One day, a team of paranormal investigators arrived in the village, eager to get to the bottom of the mystery once and for all. They spent several nights in the cabin, setting up cameras and recording equipment. When they reviewed the footage, they were shocked to see the ghost of Jack appearing on several of the recordings. They were able to capture evidence of the ghostly knocking and the anguished cries that echoed through the cabin. The paranormal investigators left the cabin with proof of the ghost's existence, and the story of Jack's ghost became the stuff of legends. People from all over the world came to the cabin to experience the ghost for themselves, and the legend of Jack's haunted cabin continues to live on, drawing thrill seekers and skeptics alike. The cabin still stands today, abandoned and overgrown with vegetation. It remains a chilling reminder of the young man who was taken by the ghost and of the mysterious forces that still haunt the woods to this day. The Horrors of the Haunted Mansion, a tale of torture and terror. Once upon a time, there was a small town nestled at the edge of a vast forest. The town was known for its peacefulness and quiet beauty, but it was also home to a dark secret. Deep in the heart of the forest, there was a place that the townsfolk whispered about, a place that was said to be cursed. The place was an old mansion, built by a wealthy merchant in the 19th century. It was said that the merchant was a cruel man who had made his fortune through dishonest means. He was rumored to have kept prisoners in the basement of the mansion, and to have carried out terrible experiments on them. As time passed, the mansion was abandoned and left to decay, but the townsfolk continued to whisper about the strange occurrences that happened there. They said that the ghost of the merchant still haunted the mansion, seeking revenge on anyone who dared to enter his domain. One day, a group of teenagers decided to explore the mansion and see if the rumors were true. They entered the mansion, armed with flashlights and cameras, and soon found themselves exploring the dark and creepy halls. As they explored the mansion, they encountered strange and frightening things. Doors that opened and closed on their own, cold spots in the air, and ghostly whispers that echoed through the empty halls. Suddenly, they heard the sound of footsteps coming from the basement, and they cautiously made their way down the stairs. What they found in the basement was beyond their wildest nightmares. The walls were covered in blood, and there were tools of torture scattered about the room. In the corner, they saw the ghost of the merchant, his face twisted in rage as he glared at them. The teenagers ran from the mansion as fast as they could, never daring to look back. They would never forget the terror they experienced that night, and the mansion remained abandoned and shunned, a chilling reminder of the cruelty of the past. To this day, the ghost of the merchant is said to still haunt the mansion, waiting for its next unsuspecting victim. Years went by, and the rumors about the haunted mansion continued to circulate. However, a young couple, Sarah and James, were not intimidated by the stories. They were intrigued by the mystery and decided to investigate the mansion for themselves. Sarah and James were experienced paranormal investigators, and they were confident in their ability to handle any situation that might arise. They equipped themselves with the latest technology and ventured into the forest, determined to uncover the truth about the haunted mansion. Upon their arrival, they immediately felt a sense of unease. The air was heavy with the sense of foreboding, and the mansion itself seemed to loom over them, as if watching their every move. They cautiously made their way inside and began their investigation. As they explored the mansion, they encountered many strange and frightening things. They heard footsteps in empty halls, saw doors opening and closing on their own, and felt a cold chill that seemed to follow them wherever they went. However, they remained resolute and continued their investigation. Finally, they reached the basement, the source of the greatest fear and speculation. They were stunned to find the walls covered in blood and the tools of torture still scattered about the room. But the ghost of the merchant was nowhere to be seen. Just as they were about to leave the basement, Sarah and James suddenly heard a strange noise. It was a low guttural growl, like that of a wild animal. Suddenly, the ghost of the merchant appeared before them, his face twisted in anger. Sarah and James were paralyzed with fear, but they managed to snap out of their trance and ran for their lives. They never looked back, and they never forgot the horror they experienced that night. They later returned to the mansion, but the ghost of the merchant was never seen again. To this day, the mansion remains abandoned and shunned, a chilling reminder of the cruelty of the past. The legend of the haunted mansion continues to captivate those who dare to investigate its secrets, but few are brave enough to enter the dark and creepy halls. The Haunted Asylum, where the brave or foolish disappear forever. It was a dark and stormy night when a group of friends decided to explore the abandoned asylum on the outskirts of town. They had heard rumors of strange occurrences and ghost sightings, and they were eager to satisfy their curiosity. As they entered the building, they were greeted by the musty scent of decay and the sound of creaking floorboards. The group was armed with flashlights and cameras, ready to capture any evidence of the paranormal. As they made their way deeper into the asylum, they began to hear strange noises and feel a growing sense of unease. Suddenly, one of the friends screamed, pointing to a ghostly figure in the corner of the room. The friends scattered, running in different directions in their panic. But they soon realized they were not alone. The ghostly figures were everywhere, following them as they tried to find their way out of the asylum. The friends were terrified, and they desperately searched for a way to escape. One of the friends, a young woman named Emily, stumbled upon a room that appeared to be the source of the strange occurrences. The room was filled with old medical equipment, and the walls were covered in mysterious symbols. Emily was about to leave the room when she noticed something even more terrifying. The ghostly figures were converging on her, closing in from all sides. She screamed for help, but her friends were too far away to hear her. Just as the ghostly figures were about to reach her, Emily was suddenly transported to another time and place. She found herself in the body of a patient at the asylum, reliving a horrifying memory from the past. She was trapped in the memory, unable to escape. The friends eventually made it out of the asylum, but Emily was never seen again. Some say she is still trapped in that memory, reliving the horrors of the past over and over again. Others say that the ghostly figures took her soul, never to be seen again. To this day, the abandoned asylum remains a place of mystery and fear, a chilling reminder of the horrors that took place within its walls. And the asylum remained abandoned, its dark history largely forgotten by the townspeople. However, strange occurrences continued to be reported by those who dared to venture inside. One day, a young woman named Sarah, a paranormal investigator, came to town with her team. She had heard about the haunted asylum and was determined to uncover the truth behind the legends. As they entered the building, the team was met with the same musty scent and creaking floorboards that the friends had encountered years before. But Sarah and her team were prepared with high-tech equipment to capture evidence of the paranormal. As they made their way deeper into the asylum, they were met with strange noises and ghostly figures that seemed to be watching them from the shadows. The team tried to stay calm and focused, but their nerves were tested as the strange occurrences became more intense. Sarah and her team eventually found the same room that Emily had stumbled upon years before. But as they entered the room, they were suddenly transported back in time, just as Emily had been. The team found themselves in the bodies of the patients, reliving the horrors of their past memories. They were trapped in the memories, unable to escape. Days passed and the team was never seen again. Some say that they too are trapped in the memories of the past, reliving the horrors over and over again. Others say that the ghostly figures took their souls, never to be seen again. The abandoned asylum remains a place of mystery and fear, a chilling reminder of the horrors that took place within its walls. Some say that the ghosts of the patients still haunt the halls, seeking revenge on those who dared to enter. Others say that the door to the past remains open, waiting for the next unsuspecting victim to be lured inside. However, the town council eventually made the decision to seal off the entrance to the asylum, hoping to prevent any more disappearances. But it was too late for those who had already entered and were never seen again. Despite the danger, thrill seekers and paranormal enthusiasts continued to visit the area, searching for a way into the abandoned asylum. Some say that the entrance to the asylum remains hidden, waiting for the brave or foolish to find it. As the years passed, the legends surrounding the haunted asylum grew, and it became known as one of the most haunted places in the world. But for those who entered and never returned, the asylum remains a place of terror and fear, a gateway to the past and a reminder of the horrors that still lurk within its walls. The walls of the abandoned asylum creaked and groaned under the weight of years and neglect, but it was the whispers, the hushed tones echoing down the empty halls, that truly sent a shiver down the spines of those brave enough to venture inside. For some say that the spirits of the insane still linger within these walls, trapped in a world of madness and suffering. Farewell, dear viewers. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel for more exciting stories and adventures. Thank you for watching.